says in his word, do not despise humble beginnings. I may not be selling out the State Farm Arena right now when I'm speaking to people at that rate. I may not be being booked by Microsoft to come and speak to their corporate clients, but I can still pull up on my friends, pull up on my community, pull up on people in my church and say, hey, I want to just come and pour into you. Talk to me. How you feeling today? What can I pray for you about? What can we talk about right now? Because my life experiences, they're not mine. I'm not supposed to be hoarding them. I'm supposed to go through these things. God drops the knowledge and the wisdom on me to then say, okay, here's what I'm taking from it. Someone else could use this though. You know. All right. We back, y'all. What's up, y'all? It's your man LJ on the bill, and we are back, episode 2 of the Freedom Podcast on the Free Pod. Make sure y'all follow us on social media at let me get it out at on the Free Pod on Instagram and Facebook, and then you can also email us at on the freedom pod at gmail.com. That's on the freedom pod at gmail.com. All right. Thank y'all for locking in, for coming back. We are back. Long time no see. And this is episode 2. And so we're just going to do what it do. We're going to jump right in today, y'all. Today I want to discuss some things. So this podcast is, like I said, it's freedom for me. You know what I'm saying? And so I want other people to reach freedom as well. So what this podcast is about helping people. It's about inspiring and motivating people to move in a spirit of excellence, right? Oh, yeah. Y'all can also follow me on social media at LJ OnTheBiLL. But yeah, so this podcast is to help people. It's to get people to where they want to be in life. You know, if your desire is to be free or have some sort of freedom, this is the spot for you. This is where you can come to. By the way, I also do like one-on-ones. So I could sit down with people. We could do Zoom. We could do it in person. If you're in the area, I can come to your city. I do one-on-ones. I definitely do. I have the ability, and this is honestly just a blessing. I have the ability to see people and see where they should be and what they might want to get into and what works for them. So, you know, I do one-on-ones, and I would love to sit down with you and talk to you and just help you figure some things out. Okay. So if that's the case, if you want to do that, make sure you hit us up. Okay. On the freedom pod at gmail.com and the free pod, on the free pod on Instagram, or you could just reach out to me directly at LJ OnTheBiLL on all social media platforms. All right. So like I said, this thing right here, this podcast, this space, this is a safe space, by the way. You know what I'm saying? And we love to hear from you. This is a very, very safe space. So if you want to check in with us, lock in with us, please do so. OK, you can email us, hit us up. But on today, I want to discuss being a good steward. OK, stewardship is so important. Stewardship is incredibly important because that's where everything begins. You see, I'm a parent. So for all my parents out there, you know, you're not going to give your kids 2 toys if they can't even handle 1 toy. You know, you're not going to let them stay out past 11 p.m. if they're not doing the responsible thing with being out at 7 p.m. You know that you're not going to allow them to take on that extracurricular activity if they're failing their karate or they're not living up to their potential when it comes to taking their, you know, extra, you know, Spanish classes on the side, or they doing fencing or whatever, you know. And so being a good steward is so important. And that's what I want to talk about today, because a lot of us, we want more, and I'm not mad at you. I want more too. OK, it's nothing wrong with wanting more. However, we do have to understand that this is a game, and you got to play the game if you want to win. You don't just win just by not adhering to the rules. There's rules to this game. Okay. Now me, I've lost the game plenty of times. Okay. I have bumped my head plenty of times thinking I can just run into the game whenever I want it and then jump back out and then watch the game from the sidelines and still get the trophy. There's a lot of things that I had to go through to realize, like, nah, this is a game and it has to be played, and it has to be played with commitment. It has to be played with authenticity. It has to be played with love, and it has to be played with strength. Okay. And it has to be played with discipline. Okay. And that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, being a good steward of your gifts. So whether it is that whether you want a bigger house, more money, more children, more love, more respect, more acres, more real estate, whether you want more control, I mean, anything. It can mean anything. If you got 5 chickens right now in your backyard and you want 10, you have to be a good steward of those 5 chickens. You feel me? Like I can't expect to get more of these microphones if I'm not being good to this one right here. Right? I can't expect to get more cellular phones and, better devices if I'm not treating the ones that I have good right now. I can go ahead and get more, but 9 times out of 10, I'm going to squander it. And let me tell you something about that. I've lived that life. I've been there. You see, I have been very, very blessed and fortunate in my life. Very. And a lot of those blessings, I squandered them because I wasn't ready, because I wasn't being a good steward of the gifts that God has given me. And I'm not afraid to talk about it. Like, it's okay. I've gotten over that. That thing, it doesn't sting me as much as it used to. And it used to definitely sting me a lot. But I had to grow. I had to become more wise. I had to become more aware. I had to really dig into myself. Honestly, I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, okay, son, okay, L, what are you doing? What are you doing wrong? God, what is it that you want to show me? God, what is it that you want to teach me? What is it? Tell me, show me. I had to be honest and real with myself. And that's going to take humility. Okay. So there's a few things that if you want to acquire more, you got to be a good steward of the gifts that you already have. But in order to be a good steward of the gifts that you already have, it's going to take some things. It's going to take humility. It's going to take some humbleness, which is like the same thing. And it's going to take some discipline. Now, that's a big thing for people, is discipline. Believe me, it's a big thing for me as well. Okay. But you got to start small. Okay. You got to start small. Nobody jumps into the big, deep ocean. You got to go into the 3 feet first. You got to get your feet wet, literally. Okay. Then you got to go into the 5 feet. Then you go into the 7. And if you're feeling confident, then you can go into the 11. And when you go into the 11, you're going to stay there for a while because you got to get used to that 11 feet. Okay. So it's going to take some discipline, and it's going to take you understanding that things don't happen overnight. They don't happen overnight. As a matter of fact, if they do happen overnight, you need to check that. You need to make sure that the thing that you're actually going toward is what you really want. Because 9 times out of 10, if you're getting it overnight, you'll lose it quickly as well. Unless you're in like your bamboo season, Do you know what do you guys know that a bamboo tree can be planted and underneath the soil and will not see the light of day for 5, 7, sometimes 10 years? But check this out. When a bamboo tree begins to sprout, when it comes up, it has the ability to grow between 2 and 7 inches every day. Yes, you heard me. Every day. Go do your research. Okay. It blew my mind as well. So if you are in your bamboo season, I can understand why things would happen overnight. Okay. But to whom much is given, much is required. So if you are in your bamboo season, a few things. Number 1, you've already been a great steward of your gifts. That's number 1. Number 2, you've been tending to the garden already. So you have been putting in the work. You're just now seeing the fruits of the labor. Or number 3, God has just performed the miracle, which we see all the time. Okay. God has performed miracles in my life. He performs miracles in my life every day. He performs miracles in your life every day. You wake up every day. That's an intentional miracle. If you woke up this morning It's because God still has a plan for you. It's because your time is not done yet. It's because there's still something that he needs you to realize. It's because there's something that you still need to learn. It's something that you or God is trying to do through you. So if he woke you up today, you are a miracle. Okay. So let me get back to it. All right. It's going to take intentionality. Okay. This is going to take intentionality. One thing that I've learned, and I talk to so many clients and I speak to so many people, and just like I offer one-on-ones, I have been coached, in one-on-ones as well. All my life, I have many, many mentors. I have many, many coaches. I have many people that pour into me, and they all tell me the same thing. And I see a common theme with them as well. See, I know a lot of successful people. And when I say successful, I don't just mean monetarily. I mean spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically, societally. That's a word, right? It is now. And they all have a they all have one thing that they have in common, and that's intentionality. This does not happen by mistake. It does not happen by mistake. Okay. It does not happen by mistake. Again, I'm going to say this. It does not happen by mistake. It says in his word, before you were formed in your womb, he knew you. God knew you. God knew what you was going to do. He knew what he wanted you to do. He knew the seed that he planted inside of you before you were even planted. Let that sink in for a minute. He knew the seed that was planted inside of you before you were even planted. Don't tell me my God ain't good. Okay. So intentionality, which is a very, very key factor, is very important. You have to be intentional. I've never in my life had a vision board. And then recently, in the last 8 months of my life, God has been moving on me and just tugging on me and saying, hey, write it down, make it, put it so you can see it every day. And so now I have a vision board. Now, I know a lot of people out there are going to talk about, listen, I'm not here to debate whether vision boards are good or bad or they're demonic, because people will say anything about everything if you allow them the time to say it. So I'm not here to debate that, but I know what has worked for me. I know what it is that I have seen. I know what it is that I have been tugged at spiritually to do and moved to do. And I do it. And I did it. And so I was very intentional about a lot of things. And I can honestly say that when what was in my mind that came from my heart, that I was speaking out of my mouth, was then being seen with my eyes every day, because of the words that I wrote down or the pictures or the things that I put out there, I can honestly say you got to be intentional. Okay. You have to be, down to, there are things that I have on my vision board that have literally come true in the way that I have it. So let's say, for example, let's say, hey, I want a Honda, right? I want a Honda, and I just go online and I type in the brand new 2027, 2026 Honda, right? Whatever, any Honda, or let's just say it's a Honda Pilot, right? And the first one that pops up is a tan one or a maroon one with gold rims. And I say, okay, cool. Print it out, put it on my vision board. I may have wanted a black Honda. I may have wanted a blue Honda. I may have wanted a gold Honda, right? The crazy things that have been happening to me is that, let's say I just went for that maroon Honda and I put it on my vision board. That's exactly what God blessed me with. So I say that to say you have to be very intentional. So if you want a cherry red 1967 Ford Mustang with a gray leather interior, you better Google or design, on Chat GPT. We can all do it on our phones. That cherry red 1967 Ford Mustang Shelby with the gray leather interior, because you better be very specific with God as to what it is that you want. Okay. So intentionality is so important. Now, intentionality also, that don't just mean writing down plans and ideas. That means a way of life. That means in the morning, when you wake up, if you know you should be doing something, you should be doing it. So you have to be very intentional. So for example, me, when I get up in the morning, I have a daily routine. I would go over and get my dry erase board right now, but that's going to be too much. Maybe next time I'll put it up here so you guys can see. But I have I used to call it a morning routine, but it started to just last throughout the day. So I just call it my daily routine. So in the morning, when I wake up, I pray, I read scripture, the verse of the day. I also read a chapter of Proverbs every morning. There's 31 chapters in Proverbs. There's also 31 days in a month. So as you can imagine, whatever day of the month it is, that's the chapter of Proverbs that I read in the morning. Okay. Then I have my meditation and my prayer time. Okay. That's when I completely just say, okay, God, this is the day that you have given me. Tell me what you want me to do, what you don't want me to do, what you want me to say, what you don't want me to say. For the things that I do have on my to-do list or my get-to-do list, tell me what you want me to accomplish. Tell me what you don't. Give me signs. Show me signs and wonders. Tell me how to operate on today. Here's what I want from today. Here's my plans for today. What are your plans? What do you have for me? What do you want to lay on my heart? Who do you want me to pray for? Who do you want me to help? Do you want me to not do something on my to-do list? Do you want me to get rid of my get-to-do list for today and just focus on you? Tell me, because that's so important. Because it's just like when you're playing a basketball game, right? It's just like when LeBron is on the court. LeBron don't just go out contrary to what you might believe. LeBron don't just run out on the court and say, give me the ball and start passing it. He sits down with his coach and his team and said, okay, what are we doing? What's the play? What's the plan? What's the goal? What are we trying to do? You feel me? And so I do that. And then I begin, my workouts. I've been, like I said to you guys yesterday, I just started a new calisthenics program. But I also just do some stretchings here in the house, push-ups, sit-ups. I go for a nice 2-3 mile walk. Then I go back in my garage and I do my weightlifting. Okay. And then on Thursdays, I have my CrossFit class. Okay. Shout out to CrossFit PPG out in Norcross. Okay. So yeah, what's up, TJ? It's my guy. So yeah, so I have a daily routine. And then after that, that's when I crack into my books. That's when I go over my notes. That's when I go over all my financial things. That's when I go over my focus projects, whatever I'm working on for the month, whatever I'm doing in that week. Even if I don't have to do anything on that day for that, I still go over it because I have to be intentional, because everything that I want to do in life, it's in that book. It's like a step toward that. So you got to be very intentional. Now, you don't have to do it like how I do it. Okay. But I happen to have a million lanes in my brain that are going, and they all going to the same place. And so that's what I need for what it is that I got going on for my life in this space, in this chapter that I'm, walking out. So you got to be very intentional. And I know I spent a lot of time on intentionality, but it is incredibly important. Intentionality is incredibly important. Aside from discipline and God, that's probably the most important one. You know what I'm saying? Intentionality. This stuff does not happen by mistake. Okay. So you got to be a good steward of the gifts that you have. Now, also, it's gratefulness. It's gratefulness. You got to be grateful. You have to be grateful for what you have right now and for where you are at right now. Let me tell you a story. I know a person. They're always complaining. They're always complaining. Bills are always paid. They're always doing whatever they need to do. And whatever they have to get done, God finds a way. But they're always complaining. And one day I had to sit back and I said to myself, So here, look, let me tell you a quick story. I preached my first sermon about, maybe 3 years ago. And you can look it up on YouTube. It's called God the Parent. It was my first time I ever preached. Shout out to my former pastor and leader, Pastor Andre Bridges of DDD Ministries. Thank you for the opportunity. My first sermon was called God the Parent. And this was right after I had my first child. And having a child, I thought that I was close to God, and I was, but it was nothing. It was nothing compared to what it was like after I had my first child, because having my daughter being her father, her earthly father, it really showed me the way God deals with us. And not only that, but the way God looks at us. And so in the sermon, if you do go back and watch it, I just made some analogies as to how I deal with my daughter. And it's very similar to how God deals with us. So going back to gratefulness, right? If my daughter if she's not grateful for the thing that she already has, I can't give her more. I would be a bad parent. I'd be a really bad parent to give her more and think that that's going to be healthy and safe for her. I would be a horrible parent if I did that. Yes, it would hurt me to not want to give or not be able to give my child the thing that she wants. But I can't do that because I would not be a good steward of the gift that God gave me, which is my child. So anyway, back to this person I know. They're always complaining. And I mean, they're living a great life. They're living a phenomenal life. As a matter of fact, blessed, highly favored, bills are paid. They may not be wealthy. They may not be in the 1%. They may be even in the lower middle class, but they have what they need, but they're always complaining. And one day I had to sit back and I had a conversation, or I had to imagine myself having a conversation with God, or imagine myself thinking, what would God be saying right now, right? And this is the revelation that hit me. Now, this is all going under the category of gratefulness, which is also a very important key when it comes to being a good steward of your gift, right? Let's say you're able to entertain guests whenever you want in your house. Let's say whenever an extra bill does come up, or something, a bill is a little bit higher than what it normally is, you're able to pay it. You're able to take care of it, right? Money might be thin, stretch, you might be a little stretched a little thin, but you're able to do it. But then you're always complaining about it. Do you know what God is probably saying, looking down? He's saying, well, hold up. Everything that comes your way, I'm providing a way for you to take care of it, but you're still complaining. Why would I be incentivized to give you more if even what you're dealing with now, with which you're able to take care of, whenever something comes up, you're able to take care of it? Why would I want to give you more if you're complaining about this now? You do know that if I give you more, or if you get into a position to have more things will come up. That's just life. So why would I want to give you more if what you already have, which is enough, ain't enough? I believe that we should be, and it says this in his word. It says in God's word, count it all joy. Count it all joy. One of my favorite songs in the world by BB and CeCe Winans. Count it all joy, even when things get seem too hard, whatever they say. That's one of my favorite songs ever. I grew up listening to that song all the time. But pretty much what it means is that even when things are difficult, count it joy. Be grateful for it. Thank God for it. Because if you're able to experience it, you're blessed. You're blessed. You are blessed. If you're able to sit here and experience this hardship, you're blessed. And that might go over some people's heads, but don't let it go over yours, especially if you want more out of life. Okay, that is a key factor. Gratefulness. Okay, you got to be grateful for where you at. Instead of complaining about things, shift your perspective and say, hey, you know what, God? Thank you that I'm in the position to spend this money. Thank you that I'm in the. Okay, let me give you a quick one, right? I got a friend who was just blessed with a vehicle. Now, the vehicle has some problems, right? But he was blessed with a vehicle. And he says, hey, I'm not going to complain about this. This is a blessing. So I thank God that I am in the position to even have to spend money on a broke down vehicle or a vehicle that may not be working 100% right now. Whew. That's That's how you get God's attention. That's how you become a good steward of your gift. Okay. So listen, y'all, I love you guys so much, and please do not forget that Jesus loves you best. Okay. Thank you for being here. This is the Freedom Podcast. Don't forget, please follow us on social media. It's going to be down here somewhere. Also email us, reach out to us. If you want to donate and help with the production of this podcast, I'm very, very open to taking donations and people sowing seed. And, I'm not forced, of course I ain't forcing you to, but if God moves onto your heart, if this helps you, if this blessed you in any way and you want to be a blessing to us, please donate. It's very, very much so appreciative. And listen, I just thank you guys for being here. Okay. Tell a friend, share this, send this to 3 of your best friends right now. Whoever needs to hear this, you know what I'm saying? Whoever wants to grow. If you want to grow, if you want to be in a different space in life, if you want to elevate, if you want to go to that next level, if you know you have that thing in your belly, if you know that you have been impregnated with purpose and it's just trying to burst out of you and you want to go to the next level, okay, please send them this. Also, please reach out to me. Like I said, I do one-on-ones, and I will be happy. I'll be so happy and willing to sit with you and to coach you and to let you know what it is that I think will work best for you and your situation and for where you at. I know that one size does not always fit all. And so what I like to do is create a personal connection with people. So number 1, I know what's important to you. Okay. Number 2, I know where your mind and your heart is at. And number 3, I know where your intention is at. Okay. And once we sit down and we could talk about all those things, I can give you a game plan as to what I think you should do to grow your business, to grow your own personal budget, whatever it is that you got going on. You don't have to be an entrepreneur, but if you know that you can do more with what you got, or if you don't know that you could do more with what you got, and I can show you how to do more with what you already have, please reach out to me. I would love to sit down with you. Okay. Once again, y'all, my name is LJ OnTheBiLL, and this is the Freedom Podcast. All right. And I want you to be free. That's what this is. This podcast is freedom, baby. All right. Peace and love. Y'all have a good one. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Episode 2. We out.